Welcome to the Hot Rod Podcast with Ron Foreman and Brady Wright. We're the guys who eat, breathe, and live cars. Ron is the president and founder of the Rat Bastards Car Club and a longtime builder of awesome hot rods. Brady is the founder of the Idaho State Hot Rod Hall of Fame, a producer of car shows all across the Northwest, and the builder of the only rat rod ice cream truck in the state.
Hi, welcome to the show. This is number 375. Before we get started, be sure to hit the share and like buttons and check us out on YouTube and Facebook.
And Facebook.
And Facebook.
and Facebook or something. I don't know.
Facebook.
Hey, how you doing?
I don't know. Are we on Instagram?
We're not. We can be. We share it on Instagram, but it doesn't do that. Cool. So how's it going?
Great. Feeling really good about last weekend. Really cool meeting our new chapter over there in the Olympic Peninsula.
Very that's excited. Right.
Those guys are really cool.
Yeah, big show coming from those guys too, I hear.
Yeah, awesome.
Nice. We'll talk about that a little bit maybe afterwards.
Sure.
But we got Lonnie Scott from the Dirty Bombs here tonight, so let's bring him in and get started.
Let's blow up.
And as promised, here's Lonnie Scott from the Dirty Bombs Car Club. And technically, the Dirty Bombs are a Washington club, but you kind of bleed across into the Idaho side of the border now and then, too. Welcome, Lonnie. How you doing?
Outstanding. How are you?
Hey, pretty good. We always do a little bit here of, who's what and how'd you get started. So tell us about the Dirty Bombs. First off, how'd you come up with the name?
Well, Dirty Bombs originally was a Southern California club. A gentleman in the club down there who started the club, we call the three wise men. There was three of them. They're ex-military, and they kind of had one of their jobs, and their kid's job was to find weapons of mass destruction.
Got it.
So, Dirty Bombs.
Got it.
So, bombs is also a slang on LA lowrider themed vehicles, the Bombas, lowriders. Yep. So they came with the name Dirty Bombs to take the piss out of what they had to do when they were in the military.
Nice. Well, how long is the club in? You guys are kind of like in a suburb of Spokane, Washington, right?
Yes, we're kind of spread out all throughout Spokane. But they started in early 2000s. I've been up here personally for about 4.5 years. The club probably been fully active about 3 of those 4.5 years. Another member from the Dirty Bombs in Southern California, Fernando, he moved up here. He's a retired Coast Guard, and he was already living up here before I moved up here.
Gotcha.
And so when I moved up here, we're like, hey, let's start a chapter of the Dirty Bombs. And
I like it.
We got every degenerate in Spokane.
Well, not all of them, because there's a couple of them that are the members of the Rat Bastards. I mean, we got some of those guys too. Hey, great. Well, listen, We're number 3 now in the series that we're doing here on the Hot Rod Podcast about car clubs and what they do to kind of ensure the future of hot rodding. You know, a lot of the clubs, especially some of the older clubs, are full of some of the older guys, and you know, there's a real concern that the people who are coming into the hobby, that are coming into the sport, you know, they're feelings about cars are a little bit different than maybe some of the older guys. I mean, there aren't a whole bunch of, 68 Chevelles around. So these people are buying lots of different things to get into the sport, and how they get received by some of the local clubs or any clubs is kind of a thing. So first off, I guess, let me ask you this, and Ron's got a bunch of questions too, but what do you think the future of hot rodding and car clubs specifically might be, and how do the Dirty Bombs contribute to the future? Let's just go with that.
Well, it's hard because, again, we got most of our vehicles in our club are older vehicles, 76 and older, American. Yeah. But we've changed throughout the years. It used to originally be 73 and older, and actually we started at 65 and older, then we moved to 73 and older, and now we're 76 and older. So we have to evolve where we find cars in a, pledge by pledge basis. But we have to appreciate newer vehicles too. There's a lot of work that go into these tuners. There's no joke. Sure. Our biggest thing is the safety of them. A lot of these kids, they're thrown into these crazy high horsepower vehicles, don't realize what the heck they got themselves into, and they crash them. So mostly educating kids and just being around kids. One of the biggest things we do in the Dirty Bombs is, We give out Hot Wheels. We always have Hot Wheels, tons of them around.
Right on.
It's a big thing with us. We
Cool.
Our first hot rod was a Hot Wheels.
Very cool.
Yeah, for most of us, I think that's the. Although I have to say, I'm old enough that my first one was a wooden model that was really rough that we used to tow behind the bicycle. So,
Well, yeah,
we did that stuff too, back in the day.
but yeah, we again, it's all about evolving and being approachable. A lot of older gentlemen in the hot rod scene, some of them don't want to be approached by these kids. They're like, yeah, whatever, go away, kid. A lot of them are mostly receptive. I've only seen very few grumpy old men, and we're all going to end up grumpy old men, I guess. But
maybe we'll end up old, that's for sure. But grumpy, maybe not. It depends on the individual. But I
refuse to let the old man in.
Yeah, I refuse to grow up too. I mean, I still ride BMX bikes. I still have the same BMX bikes I've had since I was 16 years old.
That's awesome.
Cool. That's cool. Well, so, I mean, your point is well taken, though. When we say kids, I mean, I'm talking about anybody under about, 30 or 25, right in that neck of the woods. They're not kids, of course. A lot of them have, they're young guys with families, but they may be just getting into the sport. And how they're received at a Cars and Coffee or a cruise-in or a club meeting or just an event of any kind, they gravitate towards people that appear to be welcoming, regardless of the kind of car that you have. And, those people they're looking for connections. They're looking for something. And, if they're told, hey, your car isn't really one of ours, well, then it's not going to be. They're going to go someplace else. And
we're always receptive, and we always want to listen.
Yeah.
And we always ask the questions. We Darren and his Honda, which unfortunately he crashed.
Yeah.
But we goof on Darren because of his Honda, but it was a cool little car.
It was.
Now he has a really cool S10 Extreme that's built, and we're gonna goof on it still, but it's a really nice car. Again, a newer vehicle, but you got to respect the blood, sweat, and gears that went into it.
That's right.
That and that's really kind of it. Ron and I have talked about this with other clubs as well. But it's true. I mean, if you're willing to put in the work, whether you know anything about doing it or not, you just want to get your knuckles busted and get in there and build something. And yes, you're going to make mistakes, but that's a respect point right there. Hey, you want to do it? Let us help you. Or ask when you need help. But being receptive is 80% of it, I think. The other part is just sheer guts. Like, I've never done this, but I'm going to try it. Go for it, pal. We'll be here for you.
Absolutely. And a lot of the technology, even in the older vehicles, is becoming newer. The sniper and the Phytech EFI units on vehicles, the new intakes and stuff. The science is growing even in our older vehicles. So
Yep.
Well, and a lot of the older vehicles. I mean, we're talking, say, older than 85. That's those. I can't believe I'm saying older than 85. 45 years old. But those vehicles adapt pretty well to the you can put a computer in them, but they adapt pretty well to the older technology and still fit real well with the state of the art at their time of fuel injection and the other kinds of things. I like carburetors, but some of the EFI motors and things, not a problem, but not as horrible as a lot of people think they are.
No, not at all. The GTX and those cars. I mean, come on now, who's gonna Ferrari killers? Was that what they called them?
I think, yeah.
So, definitely got to respect the mid '80s and vehicles and those fuel injection and that technology.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so many Typhoons around, but boy, if you can find one, they were a Ferrari killer. Scary.
Cyclones, Typhoons. Oh my Lord, I love those. I'm putting a 4.3 in my Love truck that I'm going to build up a little bit, and man, I would love to have all the Typhoon guts.
Yeah, I saw your Love truck. I know what you're doing there.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Let's talk about car clubs for a minute. Now, you said earlier on, you mentioned Prospect. So are the Bombs a Prospect club? How does joining your club work? Let me get this out.
Again, it's the whole approachable thing. We encourage people to come around. I mean, if you see us in what we call Camp Dirty, you'll see our flag and all that stuff, and we're always laughing. We're always cracking jokes. we have a basic motto in one basic thing and rule in our club: drive your shit, work on your shit, and talk your shit. Sorry, the language, but that's what we believe in, and that's why we want people to approach. Just hang out with us, get to know us. Are you a fit for us? And we'll tell them, hey man, I don't think that you can you don't have the backbone for how bad we talk to each other. We are so mean to each other. It's terrible.
Well, of course, we of the Rat Bastards persuasion know nothing about that sort of thing. We're all upstairs. So sometime Ron will tell you the story of how we got our name, and it's a similar situation. But the truth of that is, when people are working on cars, when you're having some fun, that whole thing becomes the backbone for the personality of the club, if you will. And not everybody plays there, so you do want somebody who's going to fit. And I think that's why the prospect thing, has lasted as long as it has. A lot of clubs do that. Yeah.
And we're not like prospect. We're going to call somebody at 2 a.m. to go tell us to get a gallon of ice cream, or, not like some clubs that make you do that.
Man, you're not going to have them drink beer out of a boot.
No. Most of us don't even drink. It's kind of silly.
So what do you think, Ron? This is something that's on your mind?
Well, this one time was this one club, the car club. They took a prospect and they give him a sombrero, and they put nuts in the sombrero across the top of the sombrero, and they put a sign around his neck that says, "Come taste my nuts." just for being a prospect, you had to wear that around. He was pretty embarrassed about that. So, I have a couple questions. So, when you guys do you like cruises and car shows? You ever do a car show or cruise?
We do. We actually have a car show coming up August 16th. There we go. It's bombastic, fantastic. Yep. We're doing something a little different in our car show. We're doing a car show roast. So the trophies are going to be just a little bit different. We're going to roast people. Hopefully everybody's got a good sense of humor. It's going to be kind of gauged on the winners. So.
Well, I ran into Darren, the guy you're talking about, Darren, and of course, we know Darren over here. Darren, 2 years ago, Darren was the man of the year for the Inland Northwest Car Club Council. He's been on the show and a great guy. That was before he ruined his car, although he certainly didn't do that on purpose. But I was talking to Darren at the last meeting about the roast, and I said, this is a great idea. You should do this, simply because it hasn't been done, or at least I'm not aware that it's been done. What a fun thing. I mean, what fun is that going to be? Not everybody's a good speaker, but you can still, gently insult somebody, I think. So that should be a lot of fun.
And it's going to be an evening thing, because we want people to come to the show and then afterwards cruise the Monroe area where it's at, because that's a beautiful area to cruise, and there's a lot of nice cars and shops to participate in.
Yeah,
and restaurants.
Monroe.
Yeah, well, it's a district out of Spokane, or outside.
Yeah, district. Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a Monroe in Western Washington
land,
too. Yeah.
Yeah, foreign land over in Washington. I'm sorry. Bring your passport.
Well, yeah. Ron's not too far from Monroe, Washington, so.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's why.
Less than 20 miles.
Yeah, just about. Yeah. So, what do you think? Let's talk about car clubs in general. When we bring people in, it's obviously there's a certain personality factor, but there's also a goal that the club has. Like what does this club exist for? Is it a charity group? Is it a cruising group? Is it a work party group? Is it, what's the deal? Think about that for a minute. We got to take a real quick sponsor break. We'll come back on the other side of that, and let's see what you think about that one.
Yes, sir.
There's a great new family-oriented nonprofit car club in Idaho.
We're the Rat Bastards, and we want you.
Welcome all hot rods, 1969 or earlier, and orphans.
And the rough is enough.
Rat Bastards. Real steel and iron hot rods.
We are the Rat Bastards, and we want you.
We're all about old school hot rods and rat rods.
We get together, help each other build, and cruise like crazy.
Because that's the way car clubs are supposed to be.
Join us for cruisings all over Idaho and Washington.
Joining the club is easy.
A bunch of rat bastards.
Contact us through our club Facebook page or come talk to us at any event.
We have cruise-ins on the first and third Saturday of every month.
Check out our Facebook page for information.
Email us at ratbastardsidaho@gmail.com.
Rat Bastards!
We're charter sponsors of the Idaho State Hot Rod Hall of Fame and the Hot Rod Podcast.
Rat bastards.
Rat bastards.
In the rough is enough.
It's not what you buy, it's what you build.
It's not what you buy, it's what you build.
It's not what you buy, it's what you build.
It's not what you buy, it's what you build.
It's the most fun you can have with your clothes on.
It's the most fun you can have with your clothes on.
The most fun you can have with your clothes on.
So we're back, and we were talking with Lonnie Scott of the Dirty Bombs, and just before the break, the idea was what sort of car clubs, what's the effect, the goals and effect of a car club, on the hobby, and what kind of car club, it matters. What's the thing that makes a car club work from that standpoint?
Well, with us, and it's very big and it's very important. You're not a member; it's a brotherhood. Everybody in our car club is a brotherhood, and we treat everybody in other car clubs as a brotherhood. You may not be a dirty bomb, but we all have a brotherhood. We all want to achieve the same goal.
Like-minded individuals into hot rods and car clubs and being involved with the local community and helping out. Yep.
Exactly. And, we help out with like the Misshifters. They're a great club. We love them. Yep. And we help them out whenever they ask. And even though they're not a brotherhood, they're sisters to us. So they're a sisterhood to us.
Yeah.
But
there you
go. It's important to us, like I said, brotherhood is first and foremost. And again, finding members that fit in with that brotherhood.
Very cool.
Yeah, and I'm going to toss this one in real quick. Ron knows this, and Lonnie, actually, you do too. I do 24 events a year, and I'm constantly doing, about every other week, I do a Cars and Coffee or a meet and greet or a cruise in or something like that. And you guys, the Dirty Bombs, have showed up at several of my events. Thank you, by the way. But it's that spirit that works from the standpoint of, hey, we're all here for kind of the same reason, cars and cars and cars. It hasn't got anything to do with what style of car you have. I don't care. But when you guys have shown up at any of my events, it's always a pleasure to see you. You're always respectful. You talk to everybody that's there. It's like you're part of the crew, even though it's two different clubs. And, that, I think that speaks highly for the way we propagate the sport. Because if somebody goes to an event, now I'm talking about a young person or somebody who's new in the sport for whatever age, they go to an event and they see two or three clubs there, and there's two or three groups. They're standing off from each other, and they may, say hi, but, there's not a fellowship going on there. That's a different feel than everybody's all together and everybody's all wearing their gear and we're all kind of one big crew. And we may go someplace different at the end of the show, but we're all here for the same reason. That speaks volumes to somebody who's coming in brand new. Like, what am I getting myself into here? Well, these guys seem cool, even though they got different jackets. That works. I think that's a real positive thing.
Yeah, and again, it's we tease people, like, we make everybody, like, we tease each other, but we tease people outside of the group, and because we want people to feel part of the fun that we're having. We welcome all of that, and that's how we find new members. Is people like, oh, like you said, these guys over here are pretty cool. They're having a good time. I think I want to kind of hang out over there with them.
Yeah.
So and that's how we've gotten most of our members up here.
Yeah, it works. I mean, it just plain works. People want to go where they're welcomed, but also where whatever is happening appears to be fun to them.
Yes.
And I think that's just human nature more than anything else.
Exactly. And, a lot of people, they're attracted to us because we have a very large military support. We support very much local military. One of our members, like I said, a retired Coast Guard.
Yeah.
But it's important to us, our flag ceremony, all that. It's very important for people to feel included in all that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've told Ron this story, but I'll share it because some of the viewers haven't. Every year I have been very, very gratefully asked to be the MC for the Valley Real Life Church Father's Day car show. It's a great show, and everybody has a real good time. 2 years ago, you guys showed up at the car show, and I think it was Darren, it might have been you, maybe it was both of you, came up and said, hey, before the show, can we do the flag presentation? And well, I guess, we didn't, why, I guess we can do that. We'll always do a prayer, but so they did this, and Ron, it was classic. Back by one of their cars, they got this flagpole that raises up. It's sort of attached to the car, I guess.
Absolutely awesome.
It was magnificent. They got a PA system, and they're doing the flag presentation, the Pledge of Allegiance, and all of that. And the guys at the church, I can tell you this, now because it's gone by. They were looking at me like, "Do you know these guys? Is this going to be okay? This is a church." I'm saying they're going to be cool. It's going to be all right. It's the flag presentation. They're going to be all right. And they were a little concerned about it. And it didn't come out until later. It was because of the name. They said, "Who are the Dirty Bombs?" I said, bear with me. This is going to be okay. Now, bear in mind, that was the third year that I had been there as MC as a representative of the Rat Bastards. If they can put up with Rat Bastards, they can put up with Dirty Bombs. And the honest truth, since then, they love you guys. It's just, it's great. But you didn't know what to expect. You know?
And we love that show. It's a great show. Good time.
It was a good show, and the whole presentation was very respectful, of course, as you would hope it would be. But that speaks volumes because, there's potential for abuse. People sometimes want to make fun of something, and it's not the thing you should make fun of. But it was grand, and it makes a difference. Somebody standing there who wasn't a part of a car club, maybe just showed up with their car, or maybe just came to the show. They got a positive experience out of that, and that speaks volumes.
And it's funny because we've had people that see us at other shows when we do the ceremony, and they're like, "Hey, I have a car show. It's military themed. You guys mind showing up and doing that?" I have no problem. My father's retired Navy. Again, our car club members. I'm a huge supporter of the flag, and to me, the American flag is the ultimate symbol in this country.
Absolutely.
So.
Sure. No, I'm with you. Hey, my dad was a Coastie, by the way, so I'm right there with you. So, let's go back and talk a little bit more about people coming into the sport. If you had a message to give to somebody who's, they like cars, maybe they've never had a hot rod, but maybe they kind of like to buy one, maybe a muscle car, maybe an old car, maybe they want to build a rat rod, never done that. What's the thing you tell them if they come up to you and say, "What is this all about?"
Well, with us, we'd be like, "Hey, what are you into? What kind of car? What's your style? What's what made you come to a car show?" Because usually that's when you're going to run into people like that. At a car show, they're going to be walking around. What do you like? And sometimes people, "Hey, I like this." Well, I actually have one of those for sale, or know where one of those for sale is, and you help them out, get a car for sale. But just answer their questions, be receptive. Don't scoff because they like you're a Chevy guy and they're a Ford guy. Appreciate the fact that they want to build something. They're willing to get their hands dirty. That's the first step of it. Just try. So I try not. Again, it's hard because a lot of car guys are standoffish. They don't want to talk about their cars. They talked about their cars so much they're sick of talking about their cars. I'm a very much talk about my car kind of guy. I'll talk about all the crazy cars I've built. I love talking about cars. It's a sickness.
Well, and I know Ron will appreciate this one because he does this. I've watched him. A lot of times you go to a show, and especially with kids, especially with little kids, people will say like, "Yeah, and you can look, but don't touch. They got the windshield card. Don't drool on my ride or whatever. That stuff." I've been to a lot of shows with Ron. He lets people get in his car, sit in the car that puts the kids on the roof. I mean, all that stuff nothing's off limits. Not because his car is not cool, because it is. It's a really nice car. But it's like, if they can't mess with it, how are they ever going to get the bug?
Yes, and I had a mystery machine, and people would always like, "Hey, can I take a picture in your mystery machine, or my take pictures?" And I'm like, "Yeah, please take pictures." I joke around. People tell me, "Hey, don't use flash photography; it tends to fade the paint." So, but I always in the coffin car I had for a while there. People want to sit. Can I sit in it? Sure, no problem. Sit in it. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm all about that. Hands on. I love the trucker events that they have around town. where they bring the big rigs and the kids get to climb into big rigs. Because I'm a trucker, and I know I drive by kids all the time, and I get the honk, 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 and I do it. So.
Cool.
So let's go back for a second. I want to ask, and like I said, I know Ron's got some other questions too. How do you what does your club do specifically to encourage young rodders getting into the sport? I mean, I know you got events and I know you got those things. Is there a charity or a scholarship fund or something that you guys do, or is it just one-on-one talk?
We're not. Okay, we're dumb dudes, but right now we're currently working with the Extreme team.
Okay.
They build homes for vets and stuff dedicated to making a difference in the community. That's who we're working with at our car show. We want to be involved with more charities. Like, if anybody ever needs a Dirty Bombs help, you can always call us and we'll find some way to help. We're very much about that, but we're getting the ball rolling, being part of more charities and helping out with events.
Awesome.
Nice. Yeah, I know that's, I've known Ron for a long time, and before I ever joined the club, and certainly before I moved over here and chartered one, the whole point of the Rad Bastards was, hey, if you guys need any, you need some money for your charity, Ron is famous for saying, well, okay, we'll put on a car show and we'll give you all the money.
And that's kind of what we're doing here with ours is we're like, oh, hey, we want to put on a car show, but we're not trying to make money off of people. Hey, you guys got a charity? Here's a bunch of money. Thanks. Appreciate you guys.
Yep,
giving us some place to take money to.
Yeah, exactly right. That's the win. Well, listen, we're getting down kind of to the wire here. Let me take one more commercial break, and we'll come back and see what we can do about wrapping this Hummer up.
All right, sir.
The Idaho Hot Rod Hall of Fame is the only nonprofit organization that rewards men and women who actively promote the hot rod community, clubs, and builders all over the state of Idaho. Each year at our September awards banquet, we award a Hot Rodder of the Year, a Young Rodder of the Year, and Car Club of the Year, as well as giving out scholarship money to students in the auto trades programs at local colleges. If you want to nominate an honoree, go to idahof.org, our website, or you can email us or message us through our Facebook page. Okay, we're back. Ron's got a couple of things on his mind. Buddy, what do you got?
So, Lonnie, when you do a car cruise, you ever do car cruises? Did you invite other clubs to do your cruise with you?
We again haven't put together cruises. We usually join up with other cruises, like the Ron cruise, the River City Club.
Okay,
yeah,
their cruise that they do. Whenever we can find a cruise and be part of it, we try to jump in on it.
So, how long have you been a car club?
The Dirty Bombs officially been around since 2004, I believe.
Oh, that's quite a long time.
Yeah.
And then up here, like I said, probably about 3 years, 3.5 years, maybe.
Right on. So how do you become a member? Is there a specific?
Again, come hang out at car shows. Just get to know us, approach with us. You know, we can usually feel out people pretty quick, and we'll approach them and go, hey, we're going to be over here at the house. We're going to be tinkering on some stuff. You're welcome to come by, or we're going to be at this event or cruise. If you want to come down and hang out with us, come on, hang out with us. Actually, a cruise, and I totally forgot. We're going to be starting on Saturday nights. We're going to be doing a hangout at Delish down there in Sprague, down on Division in Spokane.
Yeah,
and kind of just cruising up and down the Division area, doing it old school.
That's a classic cruise spot in Spokane too, Division.
But again, just approaching us and asking us, hey, you know, how do I become a Dirty Bomb? And we'll feel you out because we're going to put you through the ringer. We're going to say some pretty mean things and figure out if you can handle it.
Kind of backbone they got, right?
Exactly. Because we don't mean anything we say to each other. Like,
absolutely.
We generally don't believe that Darren's a hobbit because hobbits aren't real, but, you know, Darren is.
Sort of.
It's how you figure out what their motives are. Are they wanting to be a club member? Are they wanting to be a part of a club? Or they just want to see what's going on? What if they show up in a rat rod or not a rat rod, but a rice grinder or a import?
And the biggest thing about the Dirty Bombs too is we are a one plat club. You cannot be a member of another club whatsoever.
Well, that's cool.
If you're dirty, you're dirty for life, and that's the way we roll.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Hey, no worries. Well, listen, it has been superb to talk with you. You know, Lonnie and I see each other at events now and then, and it's always fun. I'm gonna we're not really doing this as part of the show, but I'm gonna ask anyway because this will be on the internet forever. But we're talking about this weekend. Are you coming to the swap meet at Mufflers Plus?
I'm gonna try. We're finishing up vehicles. We have a thing we're doing on Sunday, the Valley High School charity for the seniors. We're doing that because we have a member whose nephew is a senior there.
Very cool.
If you come, I want to talk to you. I got an idea that you might love, but we'll do that later on.
Hey, no worries.
So Lonnie Scott and the Dirty Bombs, it's a really, really great club, if I do say so. I've had a chance to meet a large number of the guys, and even Darren, because, you know, you got to meet the little guys too.
He doesn't show up.
But if you guys want to know more about the Dirty Bombs, they do have a Facebook page you can go and look at, see what's going on with them. You guys, you don't have a YouTube channel, no, but you got, do you have a website?
No, we suck.
Perfect. Facebook is okay.
Old school, baby. Anyway. Old school.
That's right.
We got a great smoke signal program. You haven't seen the smoke signal?
I like that. No, that was just Darren. That was just Darren's car burning up after the crash.
Oh, no.
Oh,
ouch.
Oh,
ouch. Not cool.
It's hard to see that one go. It was a lot of fun. Nice car.
Let me tell you, this new truck he's got, you're going to be blown away at this little thing. I'm blown away he got it. So
we fully expect you to come back and bring pictures.
Yes. Yeah.
In fact, you and Darren should come back on down the line and let's see what happens with that particular project. That'd be a fun one.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
All right. Well, Lonnie, I appreciate you being here. It's been great. We will do this again. This has been part 3 of our ongoing series on car clubs and what's happening with the sport. So, Lonnie from the Dirty Bombs, thanks for showing up tonight.
Thank you so much for having us. And Dirty Bombs, we're happy to be part of the community. And if anybody ever needs us, you can find a Dirty Bomb. We're there for you.
That's it for this episode of the Hot Rod Podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe to our show, and we appreciate it if you smash those notification buttons too, so you'll know when a new one drops. For Ron Foreman, I'm Brady Wright. This has been the Hot Rod Podcast. We'll see you on the next one.